Coming up, we'll be on location at Centerpoint Healing in Hyattsville, Maryland, discussing advances in wellness and how they can help you achieve better health with one of this region's top wellness professionals, Elizabeth Fellows. Elizabeth received her master's in acupuncture from the Maryland University of Integrative Health, which is formerly known as Thai Sophia. She has also completed a postgraduate certificate in Chinese herbal medicine and again is widely recognized as one of this region's top wellness professionals. Welcome, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure having you on our program.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be part of it.
It's your first time, in fact, on our program. We have a lot to talk about. We have 3 patients that are going to be joining us a bit later.
Right.
Not to mention, we're going to watch you perform an acupuncture treatment as well on a patient.
Right.
But I wanted to begin, if I may, Elizabeth, by having you tell us about the various health services that you offer here at Centerpoint Healing and how they can help so many folks out
Certainly. So we've been in business here in Hyattsville for 7 years. The primary services we offer are acupuncture and Chinese herbal medicine. We do have a full pharmacy here on site, so I can write custom prescriptions for people and fill them here. We also offer massage therapy, and we just started a holistic nutritionist with us.
Very interesting.
So, right.
Quite an array of services to help people with different ailments.
Absolutely.
And how are these treatments performed? Can you give us an idea, Elizabeth, what a patient will be looking at?
Sure. So for acupuncture, which is one of the main services that we offer here, the initial visit takes 1.5 to 2 hours. And the reason for that is that I do a thorough health history with people. So they come in, they talk about their chief complaint. Usually it's more than one thing going on. We go in depth about that. For instance, if it's pain, where is the pain? What's the quality of the pain? How long have you been having it? You know, every kind of detail about it. And then, you know, whatever else is bothering them. And then I have a series of questions I go through because, again, this is a holistic perspective. So, you know, if you come in with knee pain, for instance, I'm not only going to focus on that. I'm going to look at you as a whole person. You know, how's your sleep? How's your diet? Do you get any exercise? You know, those kinds of things. And then we do a physical exam that includes me feeling pulses, which is what we do in Chinese medicine. We have 3 pulses on each wrist. And then I'll look at the tongue, which is another tool we use for diagnosis. And then we do a treatment with needles. So depending on how complex the case is, you know, sometimes people are here for up to 2 hours, but it's a very thorough investigation of what's going on with them, and then they get a treatment as well.
And then the treatment plan is customized based on each particular patient's needs and situation.
Absolutely. And their follow-up visits, you know, once I make my treatment plan, I recommend what I think they should do for follow-up visits. And then the follow-up visits take about an hour each time for acupuncture.
And what are some of the problems, Elizabeth, that these treatments address?
So most people think of acupuncture as being used to treat physical pain conditions. So we see a lot of people who've been in accidents or they've had some type of an injury, and that's certainly it's very effective for that. But we also treat internal medicine diseases, so digestive ailments, reproductive ailments, you know, fertility, menopausal symptoms, issues, you know, with the menstrual cycle, headaches.
Quite a few different types of problems.
Absolutely.
Not just what one would normally think.
Exactly. And in addition to that, so in addition to sort of the physical body, which of course we can treat almost anything there, we do treat emotional kinds of problems too. So I see a lot of people with panic attacks, depression, all of those kinds of conditions also tend to respond well to this.
And speaking of the types of people you see, who would you say, Elizabeth, would be a good candidate that can benefit from the array of treatments that you offer here at Centerpoint Healing?
Sure. Well, it really, almost anyone can benefit if they are willing to give it a try. And what I would say to people is, please come and try it before you get to the end of the line of trying everything else. You know, a lot of times by the time I see people in here, you know, they've been through all of the pain management, or they've been to all sorts of specialists, and Sometimes they're approaching surgery or they're on the other side of a surgery that maybe we could have prevented. So if they would come in when symptoms first start, it's easier for me to treat them. Once things really get embedded in the body over a long period of time, it's harder to move that with the acupuncture and the herbal medicine.
That's a great point you just made, because a lot of times people don't know that they have these options that have proven to be very successful, and we're going to find out just how successful from some patients that are coming in a few moments. But you're absolutely right. That's a great point, and I think if people are made more aware, and I hope today we can help that many more people become aware that there are treatments like these that have some very strong results that can help a lot of folks, and possibly even avoiding surgery and or surgeries, not to mention pain medications and other things which it can be avoided on occasion.
Right, exactly. And all of those interventions are appropriate when needed. They're perfectly fine if that is what you need, but they do come with side effects, and so the medicine that we practice here, the therapeutic massage, acupuncture, the Chinese herbal medicine, really, we don't have the issue of side effects here. So, if it doesn't work, you haven't really lost anything, so it's not like you're going to have negative side effects to deal with.
That's right. And what type of results, Elizabeth, can we expect from these treatments?
Well, sometimes the results really seem miraculous. Sometimes people come in here and they think Chinese medicine is some type of magic, or they don't quite understand that it really is a complete system of medicine and it is scientific and all of that. But sometimes the results really feel magical and miraculous. I've had people come in horrible pain. I had a man come in one time who was actually in a wheelchair. His sciatica was so bad he could not walk in the door, and after one treatment he walked out the door. So sometimes it happens that way. More typically we see things like gradual progress over time. Some people only need a few visits to get rid of something that maybe is an acute injury. It just happened. Other people, they've been dealing with something for years and years and years, but over time it gets better with the treatment. So the key about this system of medicine is that it really works with the body. It stimulates the body's own ability to heal itself. And so the results really depend on the person. It depends on their constitution. It depends on what else they're doing to take care of themselves, when they're not in here. And we do a lot of patient education in here too, because that is a huge part of it.
Well, speaking of results, we're now going to meet some patients of Centerpoint Healing and Elizabeth. Welcome, Tanya. It's a pleasure having you on our program.
It's nice to be here.
We always appreciate it when patients take time in their busy lives to come down and share some of their experiences with us. And on that note, Tanya, I wanted to begin, if I may, by asking you if you can please tell us what brought you here to Centerpoint Healing.
It was two things. Back in 2007, I was in a car accident, I believe, and I came down to see Elizabeth because after my car accident, I was still having pain. The chiropractor, once he released me and gave me permission to start driving again, I scheduled an appointment to come here to see Elizabeth. The other thing, I had a couple of surgeries, multiple surgeries between 94 and sometime in 2006 or 7 when I first started seeing Elizabeth. And after one of the surgeries, which was supposed to cure me of my pain, I was still having pain.
And where was the pain, Tanya?
I had pelvic pain from one of the surgeries, and I had pain in my chest and my back after the car accident.
Must have been very hard on you for a while.
It was very hard and very painful, but I came to see Elizabeth for the pelvic pain that I was having, and a combination of the Chinese medicine and the acupuncture that she gave me. Shortly afterwards, I stopped having the pain.
That's wonderful.
It's fantastic.
After years and years of suffering and pain in multiple parts of your body, as you told us after the surgeries that you had had many years ago and the accident, you came here, saw Elizabeth, and based on what you just told us, those treatments were very successful on you, and now you're pain-free?
I'm pain-free. Specifically, the Chinese herbs that Elizabeth prescribed for me. She gave me a bottle. I don't remember exactly how many capsules were in it, and she was telling me to take 3 pills 3 times a day. And she called me 2 days after I started the pills, the capsules, and asked me how was I feeling. I said, I'm feeling great. She told me to stop taking the medicine. I didn't even have to finish the whole bottle before I was cured of the pain. That's why I still see her to this day. Whenever there's something going on, I schedule an appointment to come and see her. And I even had gotten to a point a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a couple of months ago, I think it was, where I just came in just for a wellness treatment. She asked me, she said, well, what's going on? I said, nothing. I feel great, but I want to stay this way. So I just came to her for just the overall wellness so I could just stay healthy.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that, Tanya. Obviously, you received very quick results, pain-free. You're maintaining that, which is always great to hear indeed.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, as far as the viewers go that are watching, what would you tell them about your experience, not only with Elizabeth, but the staff here at Centerpoint Healing in Hyattsville, Maryland?
Well, my experience has been fantastic. Elizabeth sort of feels like family to me now, and she's very caring, she's very concerned, and she doesn't just treat you to treat you. Her goal is to cure you. So you come in, I've been pleased. I'm very happy with the staff. They're very friendly, they're very sociable, and they're really concerned about making sure you have great health.
And lastly, I take it you'd recommend Elizabeth and Centerpoint Healing to all the folks out there that are suffering in pain like you were at one time?
Absolutely. I've recommended so many people to her so far that sometimes I have a hard time getting an appointment for myself. But I definitely recommended her. I recommended her to my dad and to some of my other friends, and everyone is pleased with her, especially me.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you again, Tanya, for joining us, sharing some of your experiences, and being a guest on our program. It was our pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
And stay pain-free.
I will. Thank you.
Welcome, Bernie. It's great having you on as well.
Oh, it's great being here. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Okay.
I wanted to begin, Bernie, if I may, by asking you the same question I began Tanya's interview with, and that is, what brought you here to Centerpoint Healing in Elizabeth?
Okay, it's kind of a long story. About 5 years ago, actually, we work in the same area. I work on the same floor. We work in the same building together. So I was wondering, what was acupuncture all about? So Elizabeth and I kind of established a friendship because we worked next door to each other. And then finally, I asked her, what was acupuncture about? She was telling me about it. Then I said, okay, well, I think this can help me because I've had a list of growing problems such as diabetes and anxiety and just restlessness for the most part, and stress, because the type of job that I have, I was working 14 and 15 hours a day. So came to Elizabeth, got a couple of treatments, and it alleviated the stress immediately from me. Okay, so the relationship built from there. After getting a few treatments for my stress and diabetes, it became a more consultative type relationship. Not only did she give me treatment, physical treatment, she gave me mental treatment as well, as talking to me about the different things I needed to do to keep my body well. Also from a different angle, other than just a physician, the regular medical doctor, the type of thing. But her advice was, surpassed the information I was getting from physicians, because it was helping me a lot more. And not only the information that I received from her, it was just as good as getting it from a physician, if not better. Okay, because she's very knowledgeable in the medical field, not in just the holistic medicine, but as far as she was very knowledgeable about the medicine I was taking, that the doctors were giving me. And she actually incorporated that type of knowledge along with her knowledge, and she helped me get a whole lot better. I had a heart attack about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and she helped me along the process of healing my body, and I'm 100% better now.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that you're
Yes.
great. You're 100% better.
100%
You just
better.
mentioned you've gone through a number of different
Yes.
problems,
Yes.
which you've told us about here,
Yes.
including high anxiety, stress, diabetes, a heart attack a
Yes.
couple years ago.
Yes.
And you've been coming here for the acupuncture initially,
Right.
and then that took on basically a complete treatment plan.
A complete treatment plan, exactly.
Which has brought you to the point you are today, which is 100% healthy.
100% healthy, and the occasional massage every now and then whenever I want to feel the stress to alleviate me.
Yes.
I'll come in and get one of her fantastic massages from one of the massage therapists.
In fact, you were just telling me off the air before we
Yes.
started that sometimes because of the level of responsibility and
Right.
stress that your job causes, and you're right down the hallway here working with a company,
Right.
that you just sometimes just need to come here in the middle of the day
In the middle of the day.
and unwind and get that stress off so you can go back and take on the world, right?
I'll come down at 12:30. Yeah, at 12:30 during the day, and I'll stick my head in and say, "Is there an opening? Do I need an opening?" Okay, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be an opening. Okay, so I'll get, or they know me. The staff know me here so well. They'll call me and say, "Bernie, we have an opening for a massage," and I automatically jump on it.
They'll make an opening.
They'll
for
make
you.
an opening for
Yes.
me, and I'll come and get a massage, and that just stresses away, get away all the stress of the day, and then I'm good to go. I'm the energized bunny after that.
That's right.
So, and I mix it up. I mix the massages and the acupuncture treatment. I mix them up, so it'll actually give me a good combination of good, body rejuvenation.
Yes, indeed. And
Exactly.
lastly, before I let you go, Bernie,
Okay.
for all the folks out there watching, what would you tell them about your experience, not only with Elizabeth, but the whole staff here at Centerpoint Healing, and would
Okay.
you recommend them?
I would most definitely recommend the Centerpoint Healing. I mean, not just from Elizabeth, but from the whole staff. The whole staff is professional. The whole staff is friendly. They care about you. They care about how the outcome of what their services are for you. I not only had Elizabeth as an acupuncturist, but other people that worked here as well. And the massage therapists, they care about you. They don't just sit you there and just do something, do their work. They worry about what's troubling you here, what's troubling you there, what areas do you want us to concentrate on? How can I help? Well, I think we should do this. I think we should do that. It's more of collaborative effort to get me to the where I want to be.
Wow.
So the staff is excellent, superior, and I can't help but love Tasty Tuesdays.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Those are the healthy meals that she gives us and make us feel good and healthy about the way we eat.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that. On that
Okay.
note, Bernie, I'd like to thank you for joining
Sure.
us, being a guest on our program.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
It's great having you on, Bernice. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's our pleasure. And I wanted to begin, Bernice, by asking you, can you please tell us what problem or problems that you were experiencing that brought you here to Elizabeth and Centerpoint Healing?
Yes, I have been coming to Centerpoint Healing for over 2 years. I am a client of Elizabeth Fellows. What brought me to Centerpoint Healing is that I had a fracture of the knee, and I was seeking some relief for my pain other than pain medicine because in reading the labels for pain medication, they always had other complications that you would be suffering in addition to the relief of your pain. So I talked to Elizabeth about acupuncture. I had read about acupuncture in several news articles and on the website, and I felt that it would be a good alternative for my pain relief.
How have the results been from the treatments?
Excellent, just excellent. I have been so pleased and satisfied with my results. I can honestly say that as a result of the acupuncture treatment, I do not need to take any pain medication. I will say periodically, and mainly in the winter, I do take an Aleve if I have a little stiffness in the rising in the morning or at night. But I am just so thoroughly pleased with my treatments at Centerpoint Healing.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That is great news. You're off the pain medication as far as regular goes, right?
That
in
is
the past.
right. I do not take any daily pain medication, periodically, but I am solely supported by the acupuncture treatment for the pain in my knee.
And how long of treatments in acupuncture did you go through before you started feeling the relief of the pain from your knee?
Actually, immediately with the first treatment, I can truly say that just getting off the table after an acupuncture treatment, I felt immediate relief, and I have been coming every week for the relief of my pain.
That's wonderful. We're so happy to hear that, Bernice. And lastly, before I let you go, for all the folks out there watching, would you recommend Centerpoint Healing and Elizabeth?
I would truly recommend Centerpoint Healing and Elizabeth. And let me just add, in addition to the pain relief, the environment here is so relaxing. You get your own private patient treatment room. The environment with music and the atmosphere is just so relaxing and so comforting to augment your acupuncture treatment. I would truly recommend Centerpoint Healing.
Well, on that note, I'd like to thank you very much, Bernice, for coming down and sharing your experiences with us and being a guest as well.
Thank you for having me.
It was our pleasure. Thank you. We're now back with Elizabeth. I must say the patients were very, very happy with the results. You're changing lives, Elizabeth.
Absolutely.
You really are.
It's really powerful to see the results. I mean, I personally, the way I got into this was as a patient myself, and I had profound results with what I went in for as well. So I know what it can do, and I've seen hundreds of patients benefit over the years.
Speaking of results, Elizabeth, how long can these results last? I'm sure that would be based on how well the individual maintains him or herself moving forward, right?
Sure thing, but
in
absolutely.
In a general sense, what is someone looking at as far as the lasting effects of these results?
There's no reason to think that the results will not be permanently long-lasting. You know, some people need maintenance visits from time to time. You know, my goal with everyone is to get them to the point where basically they're coming in 4 times a year, kind of when the seasons change. You know, when the seasons change, sometimes people's symptoms will stir up again with the change in the weather, you know, going from warm to cold or cold to warm. You know, so if we just do a seasonal tune-up, that's really where we want to get to. So there's no reason to think that people can't be completely healed from any of the ailments that they come in with.
That's certainly good to know. We're now going to see Elizabeth perform an acupuncture treatment.
The number one question I would say that I get when people call, they're curious about whether the treatment is painful. People are very fearful. They hear needles. They think about, you know, getting a vaccination or having blood drawn, something like that. But these needles are very, very thin. They're about the width of a cat's whisker. Patient's very relaxed, lying on the table. The needles are inserted. There's no pain. There's nothing that goes along with it, you know, no discomfort. And, you know, then you just relax, listen to some music, and the needles do their work.
Now, we're literally out of time, Elizabeth, but I wanted to ask you before I let you go, you and your wellness center here in Hyattsville, Maryland, Centerpoint Healing, has established a reputation for excellence in not only patient care, but you're a leading wellness center. You're renowned, basically, in this region. And I just wanted to ask you, what would you say helps separate you and your practice from many of the others?
Right. I think my goals for us, for myself and for all of the staff, are that we are extremely competent professionally. So we do a lot of continuing education in our fields, and we really try to be on top of all of the advances and learning as much as we can. So we have that piece. I feel that we're very competent in terms of the work that we can do for people. But the other piece of it is, I think that we have an environment here that promotes calm, peace. It's stress-free. We have superb customer service. You know, we offer online appointment scheduling. We have a 24-hour answering service. You know, so if we're not here and you call, you still get a live person. And, you know, we bill insurance, all of the things that make it more convenient for people.
And on that note, I'd like to thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us, being a guest on our program.
Thank
We'd
you.
love to have you back on in the future.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.